Hi, my name is Paige. Welcome to my channel. So, September was kind of not the best reading month for me. I had lofty plans of making a bunch of different vlogs, and I ended up DNFing 3 books that kind of really interrupted my vlog plans. So I figured, the vlogs that didn't become vlogs, I'm going to turn into a vlog right here, right now. So I'm going to try and string everything along in a very cohesive way so that you can see the books that I was reading that I was talking about that never made it into their own vlogs. I hope that this is fun. I hope that this is kind of a fun way to do a wrap up too, because I don't think I'm going to be making a separate wrap up for September. I also think that some of the books I read in this, I filmed those clips in August, so it's kind of like the end of August, all of September, all of the books that I never really talked about. So welcome to the vlog. If I am remembering correctly, we start off this vlog with clips from me in a video that was meant to be books that have been on my TBR the longest. This is a video that I still want to do in the future, but I just was not prepared for it, and I think I only read 2 books during September for that vlog that I had in mind. I was planning to do more, but I was not in a reading mood aside from fan fiction, so it did not become a vlog for that reason. So you can watch those vlog clips now. Not me starting this vlog and not updating at all about this book. So Dread Nation, we read it, and I really enjoyed this one. I flew through it in like a day, maybe 2 days, and it was just such a good time. So this is about, it's a little dark over here, but that's okay. This is about a girl named Jane, and she is in like Civil War times. So after the Civil War, zombies rose up basically, but they don't call them zombies. They call them something else that I cannot remember, like Walker, you know. What was it? I really don't know, but this was really a story about like race and the divide between former enslaved people and white people. And former enslaved people have then been put into schools, if they are lucky enough to get into schools, where they basically fight all of the zombies for all of the white people so that white people can flourish and survive and live. And Jane is one of these people who is in this school where she is being trained to be a badass, and she is such a badass, and I love her so much. So I read this quite a few weeks ago, and I have been just slacking on updating any of my reading, but from what I can remember, we have Jane, who is at the school, and then there's a girl named Kate who she's like enemies towards, but she also really looks out for Kate, and Kate also looks out for Jane, so they have this like weird frenemies relationship, and I absolutely loved their relationship in this and how they just took care of each other, even though they kind of were never on the right foot with each other. And then essentially the plot was that at the school some weird things start to happen, and they figure out that maybe the people that they are at this school with do not have their best interests at heart. But I want to pick up book 2 so freaking bad now, but I don't have it in my reading schedule, and you know what, I might just say F it to my reading schedule and read book 2 because this was so fun. It was just so fun, and I love the historical setting, and I just love Jane. She was wonderful. She was amazing. I'm in love with her. So this was a very good one. I give it 4 stars. It might even be a 5-star because I'm still thinking about it. So this was the first book that we are reading to catch up on all of the books that I've had on my TBR for 4 million years. And it was a good one. Started off with a bang. And I might not have updated you on this one as well, but book 2 was A Song of Race and Ruin, and this is by Roseanne A. Brown. And I liked it, I did, but my attention span has been very terrible, so telling you what this is about is going to be a little tricky to me. It is about a princess, I believe she's a princess, named Karina, and she's kind of like the rebel child, but she also has like a really tragic background where her father and younger sister, or older, I think it was her older sister, were both killed in a fire, and it's her and her mom, and she's not really up for being a leader in the future. Like I think her older sister, yeah, was primed to become the next queen. I don't know if she was a queen, she might have had a different title, but she's just really pushing back and rebelling against this title that she doesn't really want. But then unfortunately her mother is killed, and so the council kind of says, like, because there's this huge festival going on that only happens every so often, we're gonna keep your mother's death a secret, but you also need to lead this entire festival, and we need to have a champion from this festival so that the whole kingdom is happy and nobody's all stressed out because they don't have a ruler right now. So she goes about pretending like she is not dying inside because all of her family is now dead, and she is like the hostess of this big festival where we have Malik. I could be getting so many names mixed up. I'm like reading way too many books right now. I believe his name is Malik. He enters this contest because some, I want to say like demon king guy, who's kind of like a bad guy, this bad guy steals his younger sister and says, I'll give it back to you if you kill the princess. So things get assembled so that Malik can enter this competition and so that he can get as close to the princess as he can so that he can kill her. So there's a lot going on in it, and it was super fun, and I definitely want to read book 2 now. But again, I don't know when I'm going to be able to fit this into my reading schedule. So are these 2 books gonna end up on my TBR for, are the next 2 books gonna end up on my TBR for the next million years? Maybe, maybe. But you know what? 2 for 2 already starting out really great. I'm super excited. Do I know what I'm reading next for this vlog? No, I haven't decided it yet. So I really do need to look at my Goodreads and decide what is the longest on my Goodreads. There are some that I just like, nah, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. But there's some others that have really been on there for a really long time. I know like all of the Heroes of Olympus have been on for a very long time, and a couple others here and there, but you will find out with me in this next clip. Okay, moving on to the next part. I wanted to do a video that was dedicated to Audible Plus stories, but I wanted to stick with Sarina Bowen books because I found them, and I explain it all in this next clip. But these next vlog clips are probably the longest of this video, so if you haven't already noticed, I have the timestamps down below if you do not want to watch a certain part of this video. And yeah, enjoy my Audible Plus attempt vlog. So I thought I would do a vlog that is featuring Audible Plus books. So I had scrolled through Audible Plus the other day, and I was trying to find some books on there, and I was seeing mostly classics, but then I saw Goodbye Paradise by Sarina Bowen, and I loved that book. I read it last year, and I decided, hey, might as well check out other Sarina Bowen books and see if they are on Audible Plus. And so I found that the second book to Goodbye Paradise was on there, and then an entire series, I think it's called the Ivy Years series, is on there. And I thought that I like Sarina Bowen and I need some things to listen to at work, and this just sounds like a fun little series. It seems like it's just college romances. It seems like it's a mix of straight relationships and gay relationships, and I just wanted to read it. So I'm making a vlog dedicated to Audible Plus Sarina Bowen books. Is it a little niche? Yes, but I want to read romance. I want to read Sarina Bowen, and I have already completed Goodbye Paradise and Hello Forever today at work. And I really liked them. I read Goodbye Paradise last year, and it has its problems. It definitely has its problems, and I'm not going to recommend it to very many people just because of the content in it. It's about 2 men. They're 20 years old. One is named Caleb and one is named Josh, and they are in a cult, a polygamous cult. So Josh gets kicked out of this cult on like a weird technicality just because they want to get as many young boys out of the community so that there are more women for these men to marry. So Josh gets kicked out, and the night before, Caleb basically tells him like, hey, I know you're about to get kicked out. You need to meet me at this bus stop and we will run away from there. So that all happens, and they find a former cult member who had run away, and she opens her doors to them and lets them live with her, and it's really just a character-based story. There's not a lot of plot. The minimal plot that there is isn't the greatest, but I adore these 2 for just this forbidden childhood friends to lovers storyline, and just the way that they ache for each other just was delicious. I absolutely adore that. But like in a lot of Sarina Bowen's books, she does use the F word slur a lot, and It happened in Hello Forever as well, which that one is about two men as well, and one of them is like the social media coordinator for a basketball team, and his like one-time hookup in church camp, who he had also been like childhood friends with, he bumps into while he moves to this new town to work on this basketball's social media. And they had a bit of a tricky situation where they had been caught hooking up when they were younger, and one of them, I think his name's like Caxton, I can't really remember what his name was, Caxton is no longer allowed to talk to Axel, so they like cut off communication. But now that they're back in each other's lives, they're like still drawn to each other. But again, there's a lot of homophobia in her books, and for them being male-male relationships, it's just, I was starting to feel a little bit like these were male-male relationships written for women. You know, like I don't think I would recommend this to any of my gay male friends, because it just feels like it would be pretty triggering for them because of what these male characters go through. In Hello Forever, there is like a full-on assault where he ends up in a hospital and has to have surgery because of a homophobic character, and so I wouldn't recommend these. I wouldn't recommend them. I didn't really like Hello Forever very much. I think I would give it like 3 stars maybe. The characters I just didn't feel as connected to. But with Goodbye Paradise, I felt like that was a fanfic, you know? If I could drop a Cass and Dean from Supernatural into those characters, I feel like it would still be like a functioning story, you know? It just felt like a fanfiction, and I think that's why I like that one so much. But yeah, for these 2 books, not my favorite, but I am going to try the Ivy Years book series and let you know how I feel about these, and then we're going to really determine if I want to continue on with Sarina Bowen's books, because I am starting to notice that like a lot of her male-male relationships, there's always this like, we can't be together because what would everybody think, nobody likes gay people sort of drama. Like the conflict always tends to be homophobia from other people, and it's kind of starting to make me feel a little icky, because when you read other stories like TJ Klune books, that is not the drama in the relationship. The drama is other things like miscommunication or lack of communication or betrayal, things that a straight relationship would also have, you know? So I'm getting a little tired already of that trope being used, but I've been talking forever. I will let you know how I feel when I start the other books in the series. Do I know what book 1 is? No, but I will let you know before I read it. So let's find that out right now. It has genuinely been so long since I've talked to a camera. I don't think I picked it up like at all last week, and I was reading quite a few books that I never even checked in on. So I have been carrying on with the Ivy Years series by Sarina Bowen, and I have read book 1, book 2, book 3, and then like book 0. I might have even read book 4 at this point. I can't remember which ones I've read. Let me pull them up. Can you tell I wasn't prepared for this video? Okay, so I've definitely read the first 3, and then there's book 2.5, but on Audible it said it was book 0. So let's talk about these books. I'm honestly going to say that I might not trust Sarina Bowen as a writer anymore. That being said, these might have been earlier works of hers. I do need to like look into that a little bit, but I am not very happy with her writing in these. But let's talk about book 1 first. This follows Corey and Hartley, and they have both had accidents that have left them a little bit handicapped. So Corey had a pretty bad hockey accident where she is now mostly paralyzed. I'm not super sure on exactly how immobilized she was, but I know that like her legs are not as strong. She's wheelchair bound for a while, but like by the end of the book she's able to be on crutches. So I think it was like one of her legs is totally paralyzed, the other one is like partially paralyzed because of this hockey incident. And then Hartley, he fell off of a rock climbing wall while he was training and he shattered his leg, so he's on crutches throughout the book. So it's both of them who are on crutches, are in a wheelchair, and because their college is so old, their handicap dorm rooms are in the same building, so they're like across the hall neighbors. And they kind of form a bond because they're both on crutches or in a wheelchair, and they kind of understand the struggles of getting around campus because of that. But I didn't like this book. I gave it 2 stars. I was just so frustrated with the dynamic between the two of them. Like, I genuinely loved Corey as a character. I thought she was really interesting, and she was doing the best that she could with her situation, and she was also understandably still upset about the things that she had to give up in her life, but she was just like a really well-balanced character. And then we had Hartley, who was supposed to be like this wonderful stand-up guy. It seemed like that's what Sarina Bowen was trying to go for, but he was dating this like snooty rich girl, and he was just a really crappy boyfriend because he was with her just for appearances, and then he's like constantly spending time with Corey throughout the entire time. And it was written in a way where we were supposed to feel okay with the way that Hartley and Corey were connecting, just because his girlfriend was not very great, and there is cheating in this, but it's like written as if it's okay because the snooty rich girlfriend is also like cheating on him too in another country, because they like discuss that they're allowed to do that. But it seemed to just paint her as a villain for being a rich woman who knows what she wants, and I didn't enjoy that because it made Corey seem a bit like a pushover too, where she just like accepted that he was still with his girlfriend, but because they had such a connection that she was willing to just hook up with him. I don't know. I was just very frustrated by this one, and they seemed like a couple that probably wouldn't have ended up together. So I wasn't a fan of them two as a couple. I just really didn't like Hartley very much, and this started off with me really getting annoyed with why all of these hockey characters and all of these sports romances always go by their last names. And this carries on into the series and in other series too, by Sarina Bowen and even with Elle Kennedy. Like, why are we calling these people by their last name, especially once they get to the point where they're in a relationship? I don't know. Is that normal? Do you call your significant other by their last name? That's weird to me. It's very weird. Okay, let's talk about book 2. So then we have book 2, which I liked more, but I still only gave it 3 stars. This one follows Bridger and Scarlett, and they both have secrets, and they're hiding different things from their colleges and from each other. And this one was really interesting because it has a trope that I really like, which is when an older sibling is raising their younger sibling. So Bridger's mother is not able to take care of his youngest sister, who's like 7 years old, because of a drug addiction. So Bridger is like hiding his sister away in his dorm room and taking care of her, and he is like a really, really good big brother. And then Scarlett, her father was accused of molesting the young boys on his hockey teams that he coached throughout the years, and so she doesn't want to be associated with her family because she believes that her father did do this. And so she changes her name and moves to this college so that she can get away and kind of like start over and get away from all of this media drama, because it's like a big thing that happened. And so they both have these secrets, and they're both just trying to like get by with their lives, and they connect with each other, and I really enjoyed them as a couple. I don't really know what else to say about this book besides it was solid. It was a pretty solid read. I felt like a lot of drama happens towards the end though. There's a few reveals that just kind of made it not as fun. Not that they were bad reveals or anything, it just felt like drama for the sake of drama at the end. But overall, I like this one enough. Like, it could be a 4-star read, but I was still like so annoyed from book 1 that I just couldn't commit to the 3 stars. So I would recommend this one of the series. I feel like it could be read as a standalone, and yeah, nothing really too crazy to say about that one. So it was fine. It was a good one. Then we had book like 2.5, and this one happens alongside book 2, where Bridger's like across the hallway roommate. He goes to ask out Scarlett's roommate and takes her on a date, and I think this is like the Christmas book or whatnot. So they go on a date and then they hook up, and it was the most uncomfortable audiobook experience of my life, because at some point they are sleeping together and every chapter is like their point of view of it, and it's like a very awkward dialogue. And our male character, I can't even tell you his name, I think it might be Adam, he is just like sharing how he feels and how amazing it is, and it was just so awkward to listen to on the audiobook, so it wasn't my favorite. But other than that, I felt like they were fine as a couple, but again, probably 3 stars. It was short, it's a little novella, it's silly. If you like the series, it might be fun to listen to, but also pretty awkward at that hookup scene, so that one's okay. But let's talk about book 3. Like, when I tell you that I am so mad, I am so mad. It's taken me days to even want to pick up my camera because of this book, and this is where I feel like I'm unable to trust Sarina Bowen anymore, just because I've said it when I was reading Goodbye Paradise and Hello Forever. I'm tired of the homophobia in these books. I am so fucking tired of seeing these characters that are scared to be together because of homophobia. And yes, I know it exists. I know that people go through that, and I know that people experience bullying, but it is in every single one of these male-male romances. And I just don't I don't get who they're for. It just feels like it's for women to read gay romances. It's not something that I would tell my gay friends, hey, read this book, it's really cute, it's a romance between 2 men. No, this is like a hate crime in a book, because you are constantly hearing these characters call themselves slurs, and then their locker room buddies are also calling them slurs and making fun of them. And I was so angry this entire time, especially with our main character in this one. I couldn't even tell you his name right now. What are their names? It doesn't even matter. We have one character, I think it's Ricker, his last name Ricker, and that's all we ever call him, so I couldn't tell you his first name. And then Graham. Okay, Ricker and Graham. Ricker grew up with like a really conservative family life, and he knew that his parents like would not accept him. But then Graham grew up with like pretty open and accepting characters that Ricker felt like would accept them as they were, and they grew up as childhood best friends who slowly became more, and then eventually they get attacked because somebody saw them kissing, which it's already bad enough that they're facing like homophobia from some of their teammates, but to then have them get mugged because they kissed just makes me so angry. And Ricker was the one who ended up being beat up to the point that he had to go to the hospital, and Graham was able to get away, so he didn't really get hurt. He just saw Ricker being beat up and left him behind and just runs away. So Graham has like a lot of guilt with that. But what's so dumb to me is that Ricker's the one with the conservative family members who was the one who was beat up, but he ends up being like the most open. He's the one who's like outwardly gay and proud of who he is. Graham, on the other hand, who was not beat up, who left Ricker behind, and who has really open and loving parents, is the one with so much internalized homophobia. So much. Like, I have read Dean Winchester fanfictions that have significantly less internalized homophobia. Like, this is worse than so many of the supernatural fanfics that I have read. He hates himself so much. He hates that he likes men, and he forces himself to sleep with women because he does not want to be gay. He doesn't want anything to do with it. But then when Ricker comes back into his life during their hockey season, he like throws himself at Ricker but wants it to be a secret and doesn't want anybody to know because he just can't handle the fact that he's gay, even though everybody in his life literally doesn't care. So it's just, I'm so angry. I'm so angry. I'm just so sick of seeing this story being told. Who is it for? I'm not going to recommend this to my gay friends because it's just going to hurt them, because they're just going to hear themselves be called different slurs. They're going to hear that they are not worthy of love because it's not natural, it's not normal. And I just hate this so violently. I hate it so much. Because what is the point of it? Why do we want to tell these stories? Why? Why would you want to tell this story? How about we have two people who are on a same hockey team who get to fall in love and have supportive teammates, and maybe like one or two that are a little bit mean, but they have friends who stick up for them. And maybe the drama, get this, maybe the drama can be something other than homophobia. Maybe the drama could be that somebody lied about something, or maybe the drama could be that they have to move away from each other and have to figure out long distance, or literally any other trope that happens in every single straight book. Why does it always have to be homophobia with Sarina Bowen? And it's happened in Elle Kennedy's writings too, and I think all of the other male-male romances that they wrote together, same fucking issue. And it makes me so mad, because at first, like, it's fine. Every now and then, if you read a book with that trope, fine, it's fine, not a big deal, because yeah, it does happen. But if it's in every single one of your male-male romances that you write, that is a problem. That is a problem. That tells me that you have these homophobic thoughts and you are pushing them onto your characters, and I cannot trust that. I am so angry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I just went a full rant, but it's just bullshit. It is just bullshit to constantly be telling your characters and your readers that these people are less than because of who they love, and then try and spin it towards the end with like a really quick, oh no, they're gonna be who they want to be, and it's totally okay. I am so thankful that we have so many queer authors who are able to write queer romances in a positive way. I'm so happy that we get to have other authors like TJ Klune and Casey McQuiston who can write drama within a queer couple, because we all have it, but without it being homophobia. Like, I'm so fucking over it. I'm so mad. So, that being said, I am not going to continue on with the Ivy Year series. I don't care. I don't care. Book 1, gross relationship, didn't like it because our male character was trash. Book 2, fine, that was fine. The little novella, fine. This one, 1 star, I think I'm gonna give it 1 star. And I'm gonna be, yeah, I think that's what it deserves. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm mad about it, and I have the right to feel mad about this. So it has been days since I read that book. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna continue on with this series. So I think I'm going to end this vlog in the next clip when I have put myself together a little bit more. Okay. See you in a second. It's been a couple of days, but I have a bunch of book mail, so I'm just gonna open it and kind of show you what I got, but you will see a full haul with all of the books that I've recently acquired in it. But I just figured we can end on a good note, end with some books that I just purchased because I'm super excited and they just got here in the mail. So I'll open some of those, show you really quick, and then we can be done with this vlog. I have not since continued on with any of Sarina Bowen's books in this series. I'm a little tainted, so there might be some other things other than books that I got, but mostly I ordered a lot. Okay, a Cat Sebastian. Oh, this is a very teeny tiny Cat Sebastian. Then we have a Seanan McGuire, Olivia Waite. We have a Kelly York books. And like I said, I will be doing like an in-depth haul and talking about like what the books are and what they're about and everything. So look out for that. It should be out already maybe by the time you see this. I really gotta get my timelines in order for which videos go out when. More Seanan McGuire. Another Kelly York. Another Seanan McGuire. If you can't tell, there's a certain type of book I was purchasing through Amazon, which is to say the books that I could not find in my local bookshop, and I didn't want to get mismatched copies of them, or I just wanted to get mass market paperback and they didn't sell them at the bookstore that I was shopping at. This should be the final box. And Cat Sebastian, Olivia Waite. This one's different. This is Erica Ridley. Seanan McGuire. And then I finally broke down and I purchased the hardcover version of this series right here. What is the series called? I don't know, but I can only ever find them in paperback, and every now and then they're in hardcover on Amazon, and I just broke down and got them. I do try and not shop at Amazon for books, but there are just some editions of books that I can only find on Amazon. I have looked through different websites, and Amazon seems to be the one that always has them in stock in the versions that I want. So that is my quick little haul, and that is how I'm going to wrap up this Audible Plus vlog for Sarina Bowen, Sarina Bowen's books in this Ivy Years series. I'm still upset about that last one that I read, but I've moved on. We have since started other books, and I do want to try and do another Audible Plus vlog, but for the classics that they currently have, I have quite a few classics on my shelf, so I'm going to attempt to listen to those and give my opinions on some of those free Audible audiobooks that we have options for. There's another one that they just put out, and it's like an Audible original called something, oh, I couldn't tell you. It's about Mr. Wickham, so it's Lydia's point of view from Pride and Prejudice, and I really want to listen to that. It's only like 2 hours, so it seems like they're like putting together productions now, so I think I kind of want to do a few videos with those if they continue to put more out. But yeah, next up we have my attempt at a sci-fi vlog. So I was planning to read Hank Green's Absolutely Remarkable Thing, Renegades, and The City We Became in this video, and then I was going to look through my shelves and see if I found any other sci-fi like books and try and read them by the end of the month, or I was going to extend it into October and try and put out this video in October. But that again didn't work out for a couple of reasons that you will see in these next clips. Okay, I'm tired, but today we are starting An Absolutely Remarkable Thing, and from what I believe this is about, it's about I just said about a lot. But from what I believe it's about, there is a girl named April May. I'm pretty sure that's her name because it stands out. And she is the first to spot some like statue in some city, and she takes a picture or a video of it, and this video goes viral because it ends up being like aliens or something. That is what I understand, and it's about like social media presence and sci-fi things. So we're gonna read that today. It should take me just one day to read it, but I have been really excited to read this. I've heard such great things about these 2 books in this series, and I might have to pick up book number 2 once I finish this one, but I will let you know how I feel about it when I get home, because I am so freaking late for work. Oh my god, I didn't even realize the time. Okay, so I have finished An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green, and I liked him. I thought it was a really fun time. I thought the character April May was simultaneously horrible and lovable. She's definitely one of those characters where you can see your own flaws in her, and I think she's very self-aware of how not great she sometimes can be and how selfish she can be, so I really enjoyed that. But I feel like my description of what this book was about was pretty spot on. I'd heard a lot about it before, so I was familiar with this one. But yeah, she basically finds a statue in New York City and tells her friend that he needs to come and record her talking about this, and so that video goes completely viral because all of these statues popped up around the entire planet, Earth, world, that's the word, world. And then it starts to become like a mystery of like, what do these statues want, because we find out that they are aliens, and it's like a collective group of people, like the entire world is like working collectively, that's what I meant to say, to solve the mystery of what this alien wants. And I thought it was really fun. It's also about like internet fame and the way that it can change you, and the way that when you become famous, even if that's not what she intended, she was still always focusing on her brand and the numbers. And I thought that was just a really cool take on this story, and when I finished I immediately picked up book 2. So even though I was not planning to read this book this month, I just want to know where it goes, because it kind of left on a bit of a cliffhanger, and I was just really interested to figure out what's going on in this one. So I'll probably finish this tomorrow, and I'll let you know like my overall thoughts of the duology as a whole. but so far I'm liking it. I think book 1 was a 4-star read for me. Yeah, I would say 4-star. It was pretty solid. Not like amazing or anything. I wasn't like super emotionally attached to any of the characters or anything, but it was a good time. So this vlog is already starting off with a hit. Okie dokie. So I DNF'd this. It's not that it was bad, it just wasn't holding my attention. And I would even go as far to say that this book was fun. This was fun. The narrators were really good. They were really giving it their all in this one, but I did not care. I did not care. I can't remember what the characters' names are, but I can tell you that up to the 25% mark, what it is about is a city where there are superheroes and there are villains, and Nova is a villain because when she was younger, some people like came to murder her entire family, her dad, mom, and baby sister, and she was convinced that the superheroes were going to save her, that she was going to be fine, but superheroes never came. And her uncle found her family all dead and decided to take Nova in, but he was what they call a villain. I think he was like an anarchist. And so he decides to raise her, and she is very much against the villain, or against the superheroes, because apparently in this society, like, superheroes are a bit oppressive, or they're like making the rules for their city but don't have the people's best interest at heart. Kind of sounds like The Boys, you know, but like a YA version, a very G-rated version compared to The Boys. But the premise is fun. The premise is cool. I like it overall, but I'm just not vibing with it. So I kind of want to say I'll soft DNF this one. I don't believe I'll finish it in this vlog just because I'm currently not interested in it. But I think if I get back into my YA era, then I'll want to pick this up again. But right now, it's not working for me. So I am going to DNF this one. And also, it's not very sci-fi-esque, so I feel like it doesn't fit in this vlog anyways, because it's more fantasy, because I guess apparently superheroes are considered fantasy, and for whatever reason, with like the helmet and the city, I was thinking this was more like they were AIs and robots, but no, superheroes with powers. So it doesn't even fit in this vlog, so I think it's okay to DNF this one, but it happens. Oh well, on to the next one. Let's just go ahead and add 2 more DNFs to this vlog. So today I started off the day with trying to listen to Red Rising, and I got 5% in, which I don't think is very far. Like, it definitely wouldn't have been more than a couple of chapters, and I was already starting to question if the way that women were written in this was any good, because starts off with like talking about how in this society they try and marry their women off at like 14 years old, and then our main character, like Darrow, he is talking about how his beautiful, wonderful, amazing wife, who is like 16 years old or a little bit younger than him because he's 16, is the person that he would do literally anything for to make sure that she has a good life, and she is an angel and thinks of him in the exact same way. And I was like, oh, she's gonna die, she's gonna die. So just knowing that, and knowing I didn't want to witness her death in this book, just because first of all she's a child, second of all killing women for the beginning of a revenge plot is just not my thing. I looked it up, and she does in fact die right at the beginning of this book, apparently because of something that he does, I think. So I wasn't gonna do that to myself, so I decided to quickly DNF this one. And this is a book I got in a little free library, so like I don't even feel like I wasted money on it. The audiobook was on Hoopla, so I'm glad to not even try and read this one. I'm sure people who liked it have valid reasons for liking it, but the way that it was treating women from the start, I wasn't here for it. And I even saw a lot of reviews that just said that the way that it treats women is absolute trash. So no thank you to this one. And this one, I'm not sure if I was just coming off of the like way I felt with Red Rising and then going right into this one, where the audiobook was so fun. There were like sound effects, and the very opening to the audiobook was just so cool. I loved it. But I was so confused. I was so confused while trying to read this one. I couldn't even tell if we had a male or female main character because our narrator is female. So I just assumed, which I shouldn't have, that our character was a female as well. But then I think the pronouns being used were he, him. And then I had to kind of really listen to see who was being talked about. And it was just bizarre. And the writing style was very strange. And like the 5th season was very strange as well. But there was just a lot of, I don't even know how to explain it. It just felt like there was a lot of thought happening where it would just be randomly in somebody's head and then things would start to lose their realness. I don't know. I was just having a really hard time trying to get into this one, but I don't think that this is like a permanent DNF. I just don't believe I will be finishing it in this month. I think I need to be really in a literature mindset. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I just need easygoing, fun, breezy, light-hearted reads right now. I think my brain is still a little bit mushy from trying to do that screen time challenge that I had filmed. I don't know. I'm not feeling myself this month. So this book is too much for my little brain right now. So we're gonna DNF this one. But in other news, I did listen to one of those Audible original stories, and I listened to Mrs. Wickham. So it's following Lydia's story, and it was fun. It was like a whole production with like sound effects, and it tried to almost be like a play, or maybe even just like a short film type of thing. It was only 2 hours long, I think, and it was just about Lydia's experience being married to a man who's kind of garbage at first, and then how they kind of handle their marriage. And it was interesting. I had a good time. It was just kind of that like lightheartedness that I needed for my brain. So I had a good time with that, but I don't know where else this vlog is going to be going. I think I'm just gonna throw in all of the rest of the reads that I'm trying to do in September. I only have one book planned for a vlog for the end of this month, but it should already be out. We'll see. Or maybe it's the video after this. I don't know, because I have now changed all of my reading plans, not reading plans, video plans, because of this video and meshing everything together. So I guess you'll see what I'm reading next. Then I was going to try and include a clip of me finding out my giveaway winners, because I did select my giveaway winners from my September TBR video halfway through the month, and I wanted to throw them into a vlog. I didn't know where to put that clip, so we're gonna put it here. Hello. So I need to pick my giveaway winners. I'm gonna do it on camera. I don't know what video I'm going to include this on, so if you're seeing this, this is the one I decided to put it in. But I am going to just draw the random names and hopefully be able to message everybody on Instagram. I'll probably just send them. We'll see what I'm gonna do. But let's pick these winners. Okay, let's see. Okay, Hannah Reads is the first winner. Congratulations. Let's pick another one. Astasia, you are the next winner. Yay, I'm so excited. And one more winner. And Books with Clementine. I have 3 winners. I'm so excited to send you guys something. So I'm going to be messaging you soon. You probably already got the messages, but you have officially won, and I'm so excited to see what's on your wish list. Yay. And last but not least, I had a video idea that I was so excited for. I was going to reread Red, White, and Royal Blue while I was in Washington, D.C. I was getting so many cute B-roll clips. I was super excited to film this, and then I got COVID and I stuck at my cousin's house for 3 days. I only wanted to watch Bridgerton the first day. The next day I watched 5 terrible movies with my cousin, and then the following day I also watched more terrible movies. So there was no reading involved besides the plane rides, and I had it in my mind that I was going to find like a cute park area and sit down for a little bit and read, and then try and like read when I got home to my cousin's house at the end of every day, so that I could talk about the things that I was seeing and match them up to what was happening in Red, White, and Royal Blue, because I did get to go on a tour of the White House and I did get to go on a tour of the Capitol, and that was before I tested positive for COVID, because I just thought I had a little bit of a sinus infection. So that didn't happen, but I did get some b-roll and family time, so I'm going to include that here because when else am I going to be able to share these clips? That basically brings us to the end of this vlog. I think the only other book that I read in September that I didn't talk about already is To Be Taught If Fortunate, which happened to be my favorite book of the month. I read it on the plane to Baltimore, and it was only like a 3-hour audiobook. I had the audiobook and I had the ebook for it, so I read it on my iPad while I was on the plane, and I was in tears on the plane because I just enjoyed it so much. It was a sci-fi book about this group of 4 people who are sent to different planets to bring back data to Earth, but in going on this adventure, going on this mission, that's the word, they have to basically say goodbye to their entire family because they're going to be on this mission for 80 years. They're also in, I think they called it torpor, so that they sleep for a couple decades at a time, so, and they don't age, and they can go from planet to planet and survive. And it was just a very slow moving story. It felt like, what's the book called? The World Gives Way. I read that earlier this year and I loved it, and it's still really resonating with me. It had that same tone of just a little bit of helplessness, but it was so intriguing and it just felt so emotional. I don't know how else to explain it, but I absolutely loved it. It's such a short, quick sci-fi read. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. But yeah, that brings me to the end of this vlog of vlogs that never became vlogs. I hope that you enjoyed this format. It was kind of fun to figure out how I was going to throw all of these clips together because I didn't want to waste them. I had a lot of fun filming them, you know? So I am going to end this video here. If you have made it this far in the video, go ahead and leave me the rocket ship emoji, and I will see you in my next video, which should be out on Friday. All right, bye.